Hello everyone, welcome to Amazing You. Today I have the great pleasure to introduce you to Marisa Peer, who is the founder and creator of Rapid Transformational Therapy, which is a new and exciting multi-award winning therapy taking the world by storm. Marisa has spent over 3 decades treating clients, and that includes superstars, CEOs, royalty, and Olympic athletes. She is a best-selling author of 5 books, and Marisa is listed in Tatler Guide to Britain's 200 Best Doctors. Marisa has been heralded as the best UK therapist, a pioneering motivational hypnotherapist, psychotherapist, and a winning sports psychologist. Welcome, Marisa, to Amazing You.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm very flattered to be here.
I'm very honored to have you. I know you are extremely busy. Thank you for taking the time to talk to the audience today. Marisa, would you tell us why are so many young people suffering from depression today?
I think the whole world has got really caught up in we have to be everything. You know, when my grandmother's day, they didn't have magazines and YouTube and Instagram, and my grandmother had no idea what a Brazilian wax was. I mean, that was just a different world to her. And I think they were happier because they had less expectations. The expectation was you get a job, you find a person, you raise children, and you live a happy life. And now the expectations are find a person, they've got to be amazing, you've got to be amazing, look amazing all the time. And I look at how my grandmother dressed and how I dress, and there is a lot of pressure to always look thin, to always look young. You can't suddenly get to 75, put on your stretchy pants, let your hair go grey, and just watch lots of television. And I think we have this pressure to be more, this we get overexposed every day to fake images of perfection. We look at the Kardashians and think that's real. We look at girls who've had a baby and are back on the catwalk a week later. We look at supermodels who've given birth and we think, well, my life's not like that. I think the overexposure to fake images of perfection and the fakeness of the media is making us ill. And I know that's true because many years ago they did a test where they put television into Turkish villages. They didn't have television before. And they found that the minute these people started to watch things like Beverly Hills 90210 and Friends, they had an epidemic of eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, starvation diets, and exactly the same thing happened when they piped television into Fiji. The same thing. Girls who were very happy with who they were, I need to be thinner, I need bigger breasts, bigger lips, bigger bum, thinner thighs. Boys, I have got to have a 6-pack and a really bulked out chest. And I think we're making a whole generation ill. We're making people sick by telling them you got to look like this, and not only do you have to look amazing, you've got to have hundreds and thousands of followers. You know, we've got a generation now who judge themselves on numbers. What size am I? What weight am I? What height am I? What are my measurements? How many followers have I got? You know, and it's so wrong because you're not a number. Your happiness is not linked to your weight, your shape, your size, your age, your salary, what you own, what the label is, and how many followers you have. Your happiness is linked to really your relationships with other people and liking yourself hugely. And there are people who've got I've got thousands of followers, thousands of dollars, I'm super skinny, I look perfect. I mean, you can look at someone like Britney Spears and think, well, clearly, if the numbers made you happy, why shouldn't we? Can look at Whitney Houston, Amy Winehouse, George Michael, so many people, Brittany Murphy, and go, but if it was true that the high numbers make you happy, why is someone like Heath Ledger not happy? Because it's not the numbers. You're not a number. You're a person. And what will make you happy is having high self-esteem. But high self-esteem doesn't come from numbers. It comes from really liking yourself, valuing yourself, knowing you're enough. Absolutely. That's what makes you really happy.
Yeah. Thank you, Marisa. Marisa, why are so many people taking medication, and they've been telling me that taking these medication are not helping them to get over the depression.
Depression is a very interesting illness. And while I do believe there are people who respond to medication, I've always believed that depression is not because you have a faulty gene, because why is there an epidemic of it now? Why wasn't that there before? Why, when you go to places like Africa or Japan, maybe China, do you not see that epidemic? When you go to the undeveloped country, you don't see that. I spent a lot of time in Africa. They have a lot of challenges. So I've always believed that there are certain things that cause depression. One is, it's probably one of the hardest, is harsh, hurtful, critical words that you say to yourself on a daily basis will make you depressed. I'm a loser, I'm an idiot, I'm no good at anything, no one likes me, I look horrible. When you criticize yourself with harsh, hurtful words on a daily basis, you will make yourself depressed. The second, and it's huge, is disconnection. We're tribal people. We always lived in tribes because safety was a numbers game. And now we can live in our own apartment. Amazon delivers everything. We never see anyone. All our friends are online. They're not turning up to hold your hand when you're sad. They're not bringing you a green juice when you feel sick because they're not real. And so disconnection, there's a great book by Johan Hari that I love called Disconnection. It talks about how addicts are so disconnected. And the third thing that causes depression is failing to follow your heart. So I need to go into the family business as expected. I've got to get great grades. My parents expect it. I need to do this. I'm not following. My heart's desire is to be a gardener. My heart's desire is to be a tennis coach, but my parents would not allow that, or my culture, or wherever the money my parents spent on my education. I've got to do this. And I think failing to follow our heart's desire is a major. So if you put those three things together, because some of them have all of that. I'm not following my heart's desire. I'm disconnected. I'm always working. I'm disconnected. And I'm down on myself. So if you look at all of those three things and accept that they do cause depression, then you think, okay, so in there is the antidote. I can say I want to be an actor. I'm not going to, I can still act at weekends for fun. I want to be an artist. I can do art for myself. I can write for myself. I can still follow my heart. Even if it's just a hobby, I can absolutely connect to people. I can join a group. I mean, there's always to connect. When I moved to California, my husband said to me, how do you know so many people? I said, because every time I walk around, I say, oh, I love your dog. What a cute dog. And I live on 4 canals, and it's a very community, but I talk to everyone about their dogs, their cats, their flowers. It's easy to connect. Make a decision to say hi to someone. Hey, how are you? Love your hat. Love your dog. What a nice bag. Even in the store, I say to you, beautiful nails, or you did that so well. And then harsh, hurtful words, stop it. Become your own. But you'd never say to your friend, you're a loser, you're an idiot, look at the state of you. Everything you do is wrong. You haven't even left enough time to make a proper breakfast. Now you're going to eat donuts in the car because you're just a loser. Become your own best friend. Talk to yourself. We talked about, yes, darling, that guy dumped you, but you deserve better. Yeah, you failed that essay, but get a second chance to do it again, and it's okay. You're allowed to make a mistake. You are not allowed to make yourself ill by using harsh words to punish yourself. We all learn by mistakes, but we don't learn by beating ourselves up, ever.
Yeah, that's true, Marisa. Thank you. And what would you say, Marisa, to people who are listening today who are either suffering from depression or who have a close friend or family suffering from depression today?
If you have a family member suffering from depression, do not say, hey, we're going to go to a funny movie, we're going to go out partying, because that is tremendous pressure.
Right.
If you're depressed, well, you turn up for just an hour. If you stay all night, that's pressure. I got to smile, go and visit people, do something resourceful, take a chicken casserole, take some lovely soup, take some green juices, take some fruit, because people who are depressed don't think they're worthy of eating. Problem with depressed people is, so one is they believe there's no cure for it, you know. Even if there was, it doesn't work for me, and I'm not worthy of getting better. So don't take flowers and candy. Do something. Take really healthy food full of good fats. Take nuts and seeds, peanut butters, apples to slice them on, because essential fats means that every part of your body, especially your brain, needs them. So go and visit someone who's depressed and take something that will help them, and say, hey, can I empty your dishwasher? Do you need any clothes running through the laundry? Do something useful. If they have a kid, can I take your child out for an hour and give you a break? Really think of what you could do that would help someone. And do not say, hey, I bought this funny video, I'm going to laugh so much, because that's really hard. And if you're depressed, get out in nature as much as you can. The last thing you do when you're depressed is to work out or go for a walk. And yet the things you do not want to do, going for a walk, getting your heart rate up a bit, maybe having a bath with some lovely oils, and making yourself some proper food, eggs, maybe with some smoked salmon, full of a bit of spinach, all the oily fats, and reach out. If you feel you cannot call your friends and family, join a support group online, talk to other people, find out what helped them. Talking to other people who are not judging you and not saying, come on, snap out of it. Think of all those starving babies in Africa. That doesn't help. Saying, you know, I was there, I felt terrible, but what helped me was, or I noticed I came out of it after, or it only took 6 months. So depressed people already feel like freaks. They think, I don't understand. Somebody rang me up a little while ago and said, you know, I just don't want to live anymore. I'm not even sad. It just doesn't interest me. At the time, my daughter's father was very ill. He was fighting to live, and he didn't succeed. And this person didn't want to live. And I didn't have a lot. I said, look, you know, I tried to give her some advice. Why don't you move? She said, well, what about my cats? I'm like, well, where are they going to go if you kill yourself? You just said you're going to take your own life, but not thinking about the cats. So go to a different island. And eventually she decided to do one of my courses, and said it changed her infinitely, because it stopped her thinking about herself and made her think about other people. But everyone is different. There is no one size fits all. There's no doubt if you feel depressed this Christmas because you'll be all on your own, and you go off and you work in a charity feeding homes, you feel better. You think, wow, I thought I had problems. It's great at Thanksgiving and Christmas and any holiday to volunteer. If you're all alone, go and visit old people. Go to an animal shelter. One of my friends works in England, and she said, oh, it's amazing. I'm feeding baby robins. I'm feeding tiny little hedgehogs. I've never been happier. And it's just meant so much. I always say, you know, I love Christmas. I help feed people, and it's such a sense of camaraderie. I get outside of myself. And of course, then you come home and think, wow. I mean, I've done that. I've fed homeless people. Come home and thought, wow, I feel like a millionaire. I've got a bed. I've got a fire. I've got 4 walls and a front door, and I can be somewhere warm and cozy. So that does work. But of course, when you're in the depths of depression, it's very hard to be motivated. But if you join a group of depressed people, easier to hang out with them than hang out with your friends, or laughing, smiling, doing their nails, and you think, it's just me. Try to get connected to other people going through what you're going through, and get support if you're at college. Take advantage of any counseling services, and realize that a lot of depression is pressure to be perfect. And you know what? There's no such thing. It doesn't exist. You can't be perfect. Nature will not allow you to be perfect. And this belief, I've got to be good at everything. No one's good at everything. No one. I'm not good at gardening. I'm not really good at cooking because it doesn't interest me. There's so many things I'm not good at. Ironing, I could never be good at ironing. I know people who love it. I love ironing. I find it very meditative. When you try to be a jack of all trades, you become a master of none. Do what makes your heart sing. You go, hey, this is my gift. I'm really good at computers. I'm actually no good at all, by the way, at running or working out or knocking up a meal from scratch, because that's someone else. I was given this gift. I'm good at IT. And Nigella Lawson said, I'm great at cooking with my kids, but I'm not good at playing with them. I just never got that. I was very good at playing with my kid and not very good at cooking, but it's okay. We're not supposed to be good at everything. Give yourself a break. Make it easy on yourself. Be good at one thing and let someone else be good at their thing. Because if we're all good at the same thing, we'd never employ chefs or decorators or gardeners. We do everything ourselves. And then what kind of world would that be?
That's true. That's very true, Marisa. Yeah, we have to, if we can't do something, we have to give it to somebody who is a specialist at it. Yeah.
And celebrate their gift. You know, I have a girl called Rosie who works for me. She's a way better writer. I could give all the writing to Rosie. She's much better. Even though I'm a writer, I recognize her talent, and her talent gives me a break because I can let her do it. So it's always great to let other people do what they're good at while you shine at what you're good at.
That's so true. Yes. Thank you, Marisa. And Marisa, how can the rapid transformational therapy that you teach help people to get rid of depression?
Well, you know, I've always had a belief that when you have a symptom, could be a headache, could be depression, could be anxiety, it usually has a role, function, purpose, and intention. It has a job. And you're going to think, hey, what's the job? You know, when I was a kid, I was late for everything. If I had 10 hours or 10 minutes, I could never be on time. And I realized one day that I did that to get my father's attention. He was a very busy head teacher. And I got his attention by being late. But then long after I'd grown up and left home, I was still late. The purpose was gone. The behavior was carrying on. I had to take a look at that and say, you know what? I don't need this anymore. Maybe when you're a child, you get your mother's attention by being depressed. Maybe you're bullied at school, and being depressed allows you not to go to school. Maybe you feel you're going to fail an exam, and being depressed allows you to opt out. Someone said to me, you know, I never felt better than when I was in the sick bay at school. Everyone came to visit me. Everybody was worried about me. And I thought, wow, I'm getting attention from being sick. So you know what? I've been sick my whole life because I didn't realize. I might think, well, this being sick is great. Look how significant you are. So we all have the same needs. Our needs are to feel loved, to feel connected, to feel significant, to feel that we matter, to feel that we're enough. And often our needs are not met. Then the mind creates an obscure way to get the needs met. Could be depression. So ask yourself, what is the role, the function, the purpose, the intention? What is the job of being depressed? Are there any benefits? There's always some benefit somewhere. And then say, when did this be? How old was I when this came into my life? What was going on then? Maybe my mum had a boyfriend I didn't like, and in getting depressed, she paid me more attention. Maybe my parents sent me to a really academic school, and getting depressed, they pulled me out of that school and put me in a better school. Maybe I didn't have to go to school anymore. When you can even get an idea of the role, function, purpose, intent, job, and benefit of the depression, now you're ready to go, well, that's okay, but that's not me. I don't need to do that now. I'm not in that situation. Then you can invite the depression to leave and decide, I've got this. I don't, you know, if you go to a school that you absolutely hate, you don't have any power. Your parents are in the army and move all the time. You hate it. You know, I worked with a kid recently who was depressed because her mother makes her practice the piano every day. And I said to the mother, I have never met a kid in my life who likes piano practice. I've met many parents who they're going to be a pianist. So I said, your kid hates the piano. This is not her dream. It's unfair to make children play the violin, be a great swimmer, be a track athlete. Maybe they don't want it. And, you know, we try so hard to make our kids like us, and we should actually try to be more like them. But when you've worked out the role, function, purpose, you go, okay, that all makes sense. You know, I don't need this. I can let it go. I have a voice. I get to make my own choices. I worked with a girl, one of my first ever sessions in front of a class when I was teaching RTT, who was on lithium. The depression was so bad. And she said, I'm just like my mum. My mum lay on the sofa every day, didn't even clean the house. I never brought friends back from school because they went, oh, your house is dirty. your mom is weird and I'm like her. And I said, is your house clean? She went, yeah. I said, you're not like your mother. You're looking for how you're like her. You need to look at how you're unlike her. You know, you saw your mother lie on the couch every day doing nothing, and you formed a belief. You get depressed, but you're not depressed. You're just terrified that you're like your mother. And here's the truth: whatever you look for, you will find. If you look for how you're like her, you're going to find ways. And if you look for how you're nothing like her, guess what you're going to find? Proof. So look for the proof of why you don't need to be depressed instead of the proof of why you do.
Yeah.
In fact, many people I see who are depressed, especially students, are actually repressed and suppressed because they don't have a voice. They don't have any power. They don't have really much agency over where they're going and their life. And it's kind of scary to think, well, I'm going to leave this college. I've got to support myself. So often what we think is depression is suppression and repression. But you got to decide it's your life and you can live it. You may have to do a job you don't like, but you can still live the life you want to live.
Absolutely. It's about taking responsibility for our life. And I had a student who came last week and he was telling me, I'm not going to put any pressure on myself. Though everybody wants to get a 70, but I will do what I can do. And for me, a 50 or 40 is enough, and I'm happy with that. I say, that's great. The first time I'm hearing a student saying that he's not putting the pressure on himself. She's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, because responsibility means an ability to respond to a situation. A little girl recently who had to play the piano at a concert. And I said, look, darling, here's the thing. You can get up and walk off stage. You don't need to create a migraine. You can just get up and walk off stage. And when you know you can leave, it allows you to stay. Often when I'm doing something very proud, I've got to go on television, give a talk. I think in 20 minutes, this will all be over. In half an hour, I'll be sitting here having a cup of tea. I'm on the train going to give a talk, and it's a lot of pressure. But in 3 hours, I'll be on this train coming home, and there'll be no pressure. And if you think of the words, this too will pass, you know, I can still remember being a student and spending my whole summer studying. But remembering it was just one summer out of my life. I've had many summers since. I've had times when a book is coming out, and the same thing, I can't watch TV, I can't go out, I just got to get up and write for maybe 14 hours a day for maybe 6 to 8 weeks. But if you think, but when you can see the end, it's okay. You see, for something to get you, it has to be what I call 3 Ps. It has to be permanent, which means it's always there. It has to be personal, which means it's all about you. And it has to be all pervasive, going on all the time. So when you've got to give up some months of your life to study, that's not personal. Every student does that. It's not permanent because in a few months that will be gone. It's not even all pervasive when you're having dinner, when you're sleeping, you're in the shower, you're not actually studying. So if it isn't permanent, it isn't all pervasive, and it's not personal, it can't really hurt you unless you let it.
That's true. That's true. Marisa, thank you. Marisa, I would like to ask you, would you like to tell us a bit about your new book, which is coming out soon?
Yeah, I'd love to. My new book, I'd love to tell you. It's called Tell Yourself a Better Lie. And it works on the premise that many of our problems stem from the lies we tell ourselves. Let's look at what lies you students might tell. Girls don't like me. Boys don't like me. Yeah. My brother's smarter than me. I'll never match up to my dad. I'll never be my work's not good enough. I'm not tall enough, thin enough, rich enough, smart enough, interesting, engaging enough. You know, many years ago, someone said to Eminem, you cannot be a rapper. You're a white kid with blue eyes and you cannot rap. And he was so angry that his rapping became more angry. And he went to a concert determined to win. And his anger made him, and he didn't win, he came second, but Jay-Z was in the audience, he made history. You see, he didn't tell himself, he had something he could have said. Kids peed on me, I was shoved in lockers, my mum fed me antidepressants and Valium as a kid because she couldn't come, I lived in a trailer park, who am I? But like Nelson Mandela, who are you not? But he decided he would be a rapper, why couldn't a white kid be a rapper? And then when Ed Sheeran wanted to be a rock star. He said, I'm a really unfortunate looking kid. I've got white skin, red hair, thick glasses. Eminem is the one who said to him, you can be whatever you freaking want.
Yeah.
So we have to think of the lies. Eminem, I can't be a rapper. I don't look like a rock star. And if you're willing to tell yourself a lie, I'm not as smart as the other students, I'm not as attractive, I'm not as wealthy, I don't come from a loving family, my mum's got depression, my dad's an alcoholic. If you want to tell yourself a lie, tell yourself a better lie. Because the mind doesn't know, and it doesn't care if what you tell it is right or wrong, true or false. And so tell yourself a better lie takes you through the case histories of 10 people, and it shows you the lie they bought into. I was put up for adoption. Who am I? My dad left when I was 1. My sister was this way. I was always sick. I've got the depressed gene. And it shows you how we unpicked the lie, removed it, and then put in a much better one. Because you could say, if I look at a cake, I get fat. Well, that isn't true. Or you could say, I've got an amazing meteorite that burns off everything I eat. Is that true? Neither of them are true, but you might as well tell yourself the better one, because it will come true over time.
Yes.
And so everything I touch falls apart becomes, I've got a great gift.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. I'm dying under the pressure of these exams. You're not exhausted, you're tired. You're not dying. These exams are killing me. This revision is driving me crazy. Look at the words and go, well, that's a lie. Why didn't I say this revision is compelling and engrossing? When I was given my very first book to write, I was, I think, 25.
Right.
It did seem kind of daunting. I'm going to shut myself away and write. And in those days, you wrote in longhand. Shows you how long ago it was. And I'm thinking, I can't do it. It's so lonely to be a writer. About 8 years later, no, maybe 7 years, I was 32, I was given a massive advance. And I told myself a different lie. Wow, it's so engrossing writing. There's nowhere in the world I'd rather be than sitting at this desk writing. And that wasn't true. There was lots of places I'd rather have been. But I kept saying, I find writing engrossing. I find it engaging. It's so engrossing that there's nowhere I'd rather be. And in a month, I thought, wow, this is weird. There is actually nowhere I'd rather be than sitting in my desk on a beautiful sunny day writing my book. So, you know, we make our beliefs, but then our beliefs turn around and make us, and then a confirmation bias makes us look for what's right about what we believe. So if you make your beliefs and your beliefs make you, you might as well make your beliefs amazing, because they will probably become true.
Yes, that's true. That's correct, Marisa. Thank you. Yes. And how can people find out more about you, Marisa? Can you tell us about your website?
Yeah, so RTT is an amazing therapy that's fast, it's powerful. RTT is really designed way more for the client than the therapist. It's very focused on giving the client a great experience. So you can train in RTT. If you'd like some amazing recordings on confidence and how to study and how to have a phenomenal, they're almost all free. And they're at marisapeer.com. And if you think the cause of your issues is that you don't feel enough, go to imenough.com. I have all these bracelets saying I want to go to I'm Enough, join the movement. We give you tons of stuff. So imenough.com if you don't think you're enough, rtt.com if you're interested in rapid transformational therapy. It's an award-winning therapy. It's really changing the world of therapy. We're very proud of it. marisapeer.com if you want some free motivational audios.
That's awesome.
And my new book,
Yes.
Tell Yourself a Better Lie. I also have a podcast coming out
Right.
called Lie with Marisa. And every week I interview someone and uncover how their greatest issues come from the lies they've told themselves.
That's great, Marisa. Marisa, I would like to say thank you for taking the time to talk to the audience today. And I wish you continued success and looking forward to having you again on the podcast. Thank you to the audience, and thank you so much, Marisa.
And thank you. And remember, you are all enough. If you just say every day, I'm enough, I'm significant, I matter, I'm lovable, you can change yourself. And we all said it, you change the world too. So say it every day because it's the truth about you. Thanks for tuning in.